My name is Rozina Herbs, and I am a mentor. I'm founder of the Hannah's House Ministry that began in 2007 here in Uganda.
And what organization do you work under?
I work under World Outreach Ministries Foundation, also known as WAMF.
Very good. Now, Hannah's House. I would like to know a little bit about Hannah's House. Can you kind of tell me what the purpose of Hannah's House is, what you do there, and maybe what your vision is for it, and how it impacts the women that you work with?
Hannah's House Ministry is for vulnerable women with crisis pregnancies and advanced AIDS. These young girls, as young as 14, they get pregnant through rape and incest, different ways. And they have nowhere to go because they're shunned by the entire family and village. So we bring them in to make sure they can have a safe delivery and a healthy baby. 99% of these ladies will go home with their child because that is their baby. They don't consider how they got pregnant. The other aspect is our women with advanced AIDS. The families give up on them and decide there's nothing to be done. We bring them in, we take care of them. We work with other organizations that provide the antiretroviral therapy for them. We just love them, provide food for them, kind of what I call a normal village diet. It's nothing fancy, but it's what they're used to. And we encourage them and show them the love of Christ. So far, over half of them have gone back to the village on their own, strong, and the families are put back together again. The vision for Hannah's House is to continue that. The vision for Hannah's House is to develop a location on about 5 acres where we can have a sustainable garden and some livestock, a place that we can take care of up to 12 women at a time and teach them a trade, because they can't go back to school if they're young. Their education's finished. So we want to teach them a trade so they can take care of themselves and their families at home, whether it's because of AIDS or because of a pregnancy, either way. And that's the vision right there. And of course, any vulnerable woman is welcome in Hannah's House, even if she falls between the lines of, well, she doesn't have AIDS, she's not pregnant, but she's been abused and she needs some temporary help. Our door is open to them.
What kind of impact have you seen, what kind of impact have you seen on these women's spiritual life at Hannah's House?
It's been an amazing adventure spiritually. Over half of the women have come in that were not saved. We've had Muslims, we've had Catholic, we've had women that were nothing, had no real faith of any kind. And we don't preach at them, by the way. But my staff pray every morning together. They go to these women, they hold their hands, they encourage them, they tell them you can get through this, they help them, and they see on their faces what my staff have. And within usually 48 hours of being in Hannah's House, they say, I want what you have. I want your God. Now, occasionally it causes a problem if they're a Muslim or even a Catholic. They get rejected by their family. So that just adds us another little thing we do to get them squared away when their time is coming to an end in Hannah's House, of finding a home for them to go to, if not back to their original. But even in death, we have seen the difference, because the ones that have died of AIDS in Hannah's House have gone out in peace, so to speak. My staff didn't realize it makes a difference. But as they've sat with a lady at the end of her life and literally held their hand, they've realized what an impact we have had on them, because they know by the look on their face what they're seeing. There's a peace that goes beyond all understanding. I first met Scott and Brenda in 2004 in Masaka. I went down for an AIDS conference and spent 2 days down there, and then came back. And then I moved it back with them in July of 2004. And then in 2005, we returned together to Uganda with their family and mine, and me. And I lived with them for a year with their children. Bethany was not there yet. She was still in the future. So I watched those kids grow up. Scott and Brenda taught me about Uganda. They taught me about being a missionary. They taught me about loving people. And then after a year, they came back to Kampala, or here in Segaku, and I stayed there. So ever since 2006, they've never really left my side. And Scott is an encourager. He's like my dad, my big brother, a best friend all into one. We had so many laughs together. I'll never forget when we were all in Masaka together. He set me up for internet because I lived on the other side of the campus from there. And I remember walking in one morning with my laptop in my hand saying, "Honest, Scott, I don't know what I did, but I lost all my internet. I can't even find the connection. I don't know anything that much about computers." And he looked at me with his silly little quirky grin and said, "You did something." And of course he fixed it right away, but that's Scott. You make a mistake, he would smile at you and say, "Let's fix it." There's so many things I wanted to ask him already this year. I knew I was going to ask him, but now I can't. I will never forget him. He is why I'm still here. Him and Brenda are why I'm still here. I'm the reluctant missionary. Didn't want to be one. But between them, they made me into one. So he's going to be sorely missed. Very sorely missed. But I know God's going to fill the hole in my heart. And my prayer is that he's filling the holes in the family's hearts. And that we'll be able to move forward to the glory of God from this situation and what's happened.
Tell me about Scott's heart for missions. How can you describe that?
He loved people. He would just look at people and he would be like this big burly person, and then the next thing you know, he couldn't stay that way. He was just like, this smile came out of him. And he could sit down beside anybody, talk to them. He could bring out of them their aspirations, their dreams, their visions. A lot of the people that were in Masaka when he got there are now integral parts of this mission and have achieved their dreams because he believes in people. It doesn't matter if it's a Ugandan, an American, a Sudanese. He believes in people, and he will bring the best out in you if it's at all possible. He just loves people. And he just gave of himself without thought. It was all about people.
Why do you think Scott was here?
Following the call of God. Totally following the call of God. The gospel is what he believed in. The love of Jesus is what he lived daily. I can't think of a moment in the last 12 years that I haven't seen him walk it out. He is a man that walks what he talks, and he knows the gospel is the way. He knows that if people don't have Jesus, they are lost. And he was not going to have that on his account, that he failed somebody spiritually. Not going to happen on his watch. Mm-mm.
It seems like he had a big impact here in the community, that so many people loved him. Can you talk about his relationship with the staff?
His relationship with the staff is amazing. He could encourage them. He would teach them. Scott believes in training people and turning them loose in their calling. And he's not one of these people that would say, well, no, you have to do it this way. But no. As each person's going to do it differently. Scott would do it one way. I'd probably do it a different way. But this person he's mentoring, and that's what he did, he mentored them, would do it the way that they're able to do it, with excellence, to gain the same end. And we see it all over here with our young Ugandans that are walking it out now, still carrying the gospel right through everything they're doing. All the young men and women that have gone on into pastoring through our 2 Bible colleges, he's encouraged them and mentoring them.
Did you ever see Scott discouraged about the progress of his missions work here, and if so, how did he deal with that?
I think we all sometimes get a little discouraged because things don't move along as quickly as we want them to. Scott oversaw so many of our projects, especially the financial side of our projects in this mission. I know there's a lot of times when he really wanted something to complete, but maybe there was lack of funding or whatever reason that it couldn't be accomplished. But I never saw him get angry. I never saw him get short with people over it. He would pray. He was a man of prayer, and he would just stand and say, I believe it will get done. We just have to keep believing it will get done. He would not stop believing in what God wants done will get done. He wouldn't stop believing. Yeah, sometimes we have to take a deep breath and pause for a minute. But then the minute we could move forward, you would see him like, okay, let's go. We can go to the next level. And he'd be right in there, let's go to the next level of whatever it was. Be it building a building, you know, teaching something. It didn't matter. Let's go to the next level. We go as far as we can. But we don't quit. He never quit.